Greetings, my fellow Seraphs. Today, we are talking about Season of the Seraph. With the current Destiny 2 season coming to a close and Lightfall just around the corner, I thought we'd sit down and discuss just how good this season was, as it is one of the second to last season that will share this model with Season of Defiance, with a new seasonal model that we have gotten some information on in Season of the Deep, but nothing too concrete yet. All we know is that the seasonal model, for the good of the Destiny community and the sanity of its players, will be changing in season. Anyways, let's get into the review of Season of the Seraph. And as always, as I like to do with these videos, please remember that this is somewhat opinion based, so my opinion and yours may not be the same. If you happen to either really love this season or really like this season, or not at all like this season, perhaps you didn't even play it or you have the utmost disdain for it, again, please remember my opinion is going to be different. This isn't an official ranking in any way, shape, or form. This is just what I think of it, so please take it with a grain of salt. So if you can believe it or not, we started this season with Clovis Bray and his help and assistance, and attempting to track down the remnants of Rasputin to then rebuild him to fight this coming battle that we would have, or at least this potential coming battle with. Now, of course, a lot of people may know this, but we ended up not using Rasputin to fight against Xivu Arath because we realized that's exactly what she needs in order to use her power to invade the Sol system in the first place. And that's why in the end, which I did not do a spoiler warning, but this is your spoiler warning now. If you haven't already left this video, then I assume you're ready to talk about this stuff. But again, this is the last warning. So Rasputin eventually sacrifices himself to foil the plans of Aramis and the Witness to destroy the Traveler in the first place. What I do find weird about this is we find out some more interesting stuff throughout the interactive trailer, and I might make a separate video about that, I'm not entirely sure. But if you've gone through the interactive trailer, you know that Savathun was also a part of this deception of helping not humanity but the Traveler survive the Witness and the collapse. And that's the reason why the Witness is here now, to exact his revenge, or at the very least track down the Traveler, which seems to be the Witness's main objective. Now, I might be getting a little bit off track here. This leads into Lightfall, and that's why these seasons are kind of nice now, is because there is a more serialized storytelling than we've had in past seasons before. Really, the Season of the Chosen is when this started, or Season of the Hunt, as well. But regardless, Season of the Seraph will ultimately have a huge impact on the happenings of Lightfall. I mean, Osiris figuring out that the Neptunian city of Neomuna exists was all because of what happened in Witch Queen, with Savathun invading his body and essentially becoming him to learn not only the secrets of the light, but also the secrets of the Guardians. That way she could become one herself. And of course, Osiris was able to use that opportunity to also steal some of her secrets. One, of course, being Neomuna and its existence. And the reason why this is helpful for Lightbearers and those who are protecting the Traveler is because the Witness is going there for the same reason that Rasputin was hiding it in the first place. was because there's something on Neomuna the witness needs to be able to either destroy or wipe the traveler's existence off of, anything. Simply just destroy it or something like that. And what we can assume that is an object Rasputin refers to as the Veil in his last message to us after he has sacrificed himself to destroy the warsats that were seconds away from firing on the Traveler. This object has been stated to be linked to the Traveler and to have an untold amount of paracausal energy, so we can assume very well that it has the power not only to inflict mortal wounds on Guardians but also on the Traveler. And that would be kind of scary from, if you're a paracausal entity to begin with. So it'll be interesting to see if that object is found in Lightfall or if it's found in the raid, and perhaps after that we keep it a secret and we're able to keep it away from the witness long enough to either subdue him or long enough for him to give up on his chase and perhaps try again when the final shape comes around. Now, before I get too much further off track, I love this storytelling. I love all of it. I really enjoyed Rasputin's arc as a character, and if you've been a Destiny fan since he first arrived in the game, or as he was first mentioned in Destiny 1, which I believe was the last array story mission in the D1 vanilla campaign, which, by the way, if you have not listened to the track, the soundtrack of Destiny 1, if you're a newer player, the last array is my personal favorite track from that game. It is so, it's just beautiful. Maybe future me will put it in the video for you all to listen to, but either way, he was first mentioned a warmind speaking in Russian, and a ballet lover, a poetry lover, and a classical music enjoyer. And his sole purpose was to protect humanity through means of war, strategy, killing. And of course he did that, but only through the instruction of Clovis Bray. And of course Anna Bray tried to show him how he could be more than just a war mind. And ultimately that's what he ended up being. He became a guardian, essentially. And there are theories out there that the Traveler was going to leave because it sensed its impending destruction and knew, yeah, I should probably get out of here. However, people have theorized that it decided to stay because of Rasputin's sacrifice. Red's willingness to sacrifice himself for the greater good of humanity, right? The whole devotion inspires bravery, bravery inspires sacrifice, sacrifice inspires or leads to death. And in his dying moments, whether he would admit it or not, Rasputin became legend to, kind of sew it all together. So I don't think you could have a better ending to a season and to a character arc for Rasputin. So for Season of the Seraph, I gave this story an 8 out of 10. I mean, I could have gone higher with this. I even could have gone lower, but I think this is an appropriate level of, I would even argue that you could go 10 out of 10, because seasons, generally speaking, don't have that great of a story. I think Season of The Haunted did really well, because we got to glimpse into the psyche of each of our characters in their past lives, and that gives them more weight when they're facing conflicts in expansions like Lightfall, like Keitel and her mentor Indominus Gaul, Zavala and his former lover Safia, and of course Crow with his former self, Aldrin. Definitely a lot of interesting things to deal with there, and especially after Crow had been told about his past life via Savathun, it was great to see him kind of come to terms with that. And seasonal stories do a really good job of building up characters, or in this case, breaking them down to get everyone ready for the larger expansions where you see a lot more character arcs, right? In Lightfall, we're gonna get Cloud Striders, we're gonna get, not only our own Guardian, but also Zavala, Ikora, Marisol, right? There's a lot of characters involved in Lightfall that are going to get some exposition here and there. And, some might only get a cutscene or two, or maybe a line of dialogue here and there. But just about everyone is involved in these larger DLCs. So it's nice to have these seasons where they focus more on 2 or 3 characters. Season of the Seraph really focused on Rasputin, Clovis, Anna Bray, Osiris here and there, because of his recent trauma, and obviously he's trying to figure everything out after his comatose state. So let's step away from the juicy stuff for a minute. Gameplay loop, something that was okay in this season. I definitely enjoyed Battleground Heist more than I enjoyed Expedition and Catch Grass from last season. So it wasn't that much better. I mean, you're always going to run into the same problem with the gameplay loop. It's repetitive. You're doing the same thing over and over again. So it's very difficult from a gameplay perspective to refresh that. And I hope after Season of Defiance that whatever Bungie has concocted for Season of the Deep, we'll mix that up a little bit, and it'll be a welcome change throughout the community. So for the gameplay loop, I gave Season of Seraph a 6.5 out of 10. Generous, if you ask me, although I really think Seraph Station, the exotic mission, kind of saved it. Also, the mission in which is the epilogue of this season, I forget the name, Abhorrent Imperative, that's the name, was really well done. And I think, the cutscene was well done. The mission itself is kind of okay. I think they kind of just put Aramis in it for show, because she didn't really impact that all too much. She just came up to the station to activate the launch sequence and then said, "Sup, Guardian, see you later." So kind of lackluster, but again, the cutscene is just so well done, and it really does give me high hopes for what we're for Lightfall, for the cutscenes that will come in Lightfall for sure. And as far as loot goes, the loot for this season was pretty good. Revision 0 is definitely fun, and all the Ikelos guns are okay. I really enjoy Disparity as well. So I gave the loot a 7 out of 10. Could have been higher. I think that the perks for certain Ikelos guns like the sniper and the shotgun aren't really that great. So I really think the SMG and maybe the hand cannon are the only 2 ones you'd really want. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought about this season. Let me know your hopes for Lightfall. There'll be plenty more content coming as we get closer, and of course right around Lightfall as well. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Go ahead and do all the stuff, like this video if you'd like to see more seasonal reviews and content, and subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of people who watch these videos are not subscribed, so if you could do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. But as always, know that your review is plenty for me.